guys are doing good. I am loving today, mostly because it is so sunny out, and two, because I got to go on a hike this morning and it was so good. But I need to tell you guys a story because what happened this morning literally lines up with what I was going to share today, and I felt like God was literally slapping me in the face and wanting me just to really understand something. And so what I'm going to share with you is I think something that would be really helpful for us, for all of us, as we are journeying in day million of quarantine that feels like it's going to be never ending. So let me show you what happened. So I went on this hike. It's pretty hot out today. I've spent this week being with family, so it's a little bit warmer where I am. And I go to a coffee shop beforehand. I was like, I'm gonna get my coffee, my chocolate croissant, because that's like my normal thing to do. I get my stuff, and then I'm like finishing my croissant on the way to the hike. I get to the hike and I'm like, I love this, like hiking in the sun with my iced coffee. This is awesome. And actually a latte, so there's like a lot of milk in it. So just to give you context. So as I'm walking, I see this huge sign that says, it's gonna be hot, make sure you have water. And I was like, I don't have water, but I have my coffee, so I'm good. Like, I'm walking with coffee, at least it's something that's hydrating. So I kind of justified it right away that I'm like, okay, at least I have something that can like quench my thirst. And here's the deal, like it's hot outside, so the moment I get to the ice cubes, those are gonna melt, it's water, I am good to go. So I get like almost to the top of this mountain and I realize my ice cubes are like almost done because I am like so thirsty, right? And I get to the top and I realize, crap, I don't have any water for the way home. Mind you, I'm gonna be okay. But all of these things like started rushing through my mind because I started to realize as much as this drink seemed like it would be something that would satisfy my thirst, it definitely wasn't. One, because I was just gonna need more of it, and two, it wasn't water. It wasn't the thing that would actually nourish me to the point of quenching my thirst so that I wouldn't be thirsty anymore. It was something like milk that isn't gonna satisfy in the same exact way. So what was crazy, and I'll show you a little clip that I actually took. Literally out of coffee, out of ice, and it's so hot. What is really funny is that yesterday when I was praying through what I want to share with you guys this morning for Devo, I thought of in John chapter 4, the story of the woman going to the well. And what happens is there's this moment where the Samaritan woman is going to a well to get water. And she actually chooses to go at a time of day that's like so hot, which means one, she's probably hiding something if she's going at that time. And two, she's just crazy. So why in the world is she going at that time? But what I love is in this passage, Jesus happens to be there at the same time. Actually, he had gone out of his way and happened to be in Samaria at the same exact time as this woman. And we get to read in John chapter 4, their interaction. And the passage the verse that stuck out to me yesterday is something that really has to do with this hike that I went on this morning. And this is what Jesus says to the woman when basically she's just trying to get water from a well. It's what Jesus says to her when he's there. He says this in John chapter 4. If you guys have your Bibles, you can open with me. He says this in verse 13. Jesus said to her, everyone who drinks of this water, pointing to the well, will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. I read that and was like, no way. I've read it a million times, but there's something so different about this time where I was like, this woman had an agenda, and mind you, the story is really a little bit more extended, but this woman had an agenda to go get water, yet Jesus, the one who can ultimately bring life, is looking at her and says, woman, if you keep going to this kind of water, this thing, whatever it's something you're hiding from, or this person, or this hobby, or maybe sports, whatever it is that you're running to, he's saying, you're gonna keep running to that thing and you're gonna keep feeling thirsty. Yet, I love that he says, but if you come to the water that I will give you, Jesus says, if you come to the water that I will give you, you won't ever thirst again. Mind you, this is an analogy, but I love that concept that Jesus is saying in parallel to each other. He's saying, you can go here and you'll continue to be thirsty, or you can come to me and I will fully satisfy you. I actually wrote in my journal yesterday when I was thinking about this, as I wrote this, he's basically saying, if you keep running to the same thing that keeps making you dry, when are you gonna get the point? If you keep running to that thing that's continuing to make you dry, when are you gonna finally get the point that you're not being satisfied? For me, if I was on this hike and I continued to keep drinking coffee every single time I went on a hike and I didn't get the memo that I'm continually thirsty at the end of the hike, what's wrong with me? How am I not realizing that? Yet I love that Jesus says, I will satisfy. And I think there's two steps in this process when it comes to running to Jesus as the one who will fully satisfy you. As I see this first step being that we need to turn from the fake wells. We need to turn from the things that maybe mask themselves as things that will satisfy us. My coffee looked like it would be something that would satisfy, yet on that hike, as I'm trying to endure this hike, I quickly realized it didn't satisfy. So we need to turn from those things that mask themselves as wells of life, yet they're just not. And the second thing is saying yes to the true well, the one true God who is Jesus, who says, I will quench your thirst all the time. I will be the one to make you feel fully alive, feel fully full of me, and then you will live and you won't be thirsty again. And so I love that passage, and to be honest, it was a hard lesson when I was on this hike when I was like, I'll be good. And then I quickly realized that coffee wasn't gonna satisfy me. And to be honest, I'm someone that's a huge representation of my life where there's a lot of things or people that I've run to and they continue to not satisfy me, or it continues to not satisfy me, and I keep running to it. But when am I gonna get the memo that those things I'm saying yes to are gonna continually fail me? So I don't know what that is for you guys. My encouragement is that you would be encouraged that Jesus is the one who will bring you life to the point where you won't thirst ever again, because he will fully satisfy you. But also, what are those things you're running to? Let's think about it. We have time, so don't make time an excuse. You can do a lot of things today, but what are going to be the things that fill your time and your life with full life today? Love you guys. Bye.